Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 989, we're going to talk about Bristly Bill, the Spine Sower. Now, Bristly Bill, is this not a Brian Canada card? I'm telling you. So for 2 mana, we get a 2/2 with Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Oh, I missed the part where this is a plant creature. That's important later on. And then for the low price of 5 mana, we can double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature. Each creature, your whole team. It doubles the counters, 1/1 counters on your team. So, this is a total package. Just from playing the game, Landfall, you get counters. And then 5 mana in green, that's what, like 2 and everything else? You can double. So, won't be surprised by the first category is ramp. Now, we have, let's get our play more lands first, right? So we have got Azusa. Play 2 more lands, y'all know I love her. The Oracle of Moldiah allows you to play other lands. So does Exploration. I'm out of practice. I hadn't done this in a while. Gaia's Touch. You can play another land as long as it's a forest. That's all we got is basic forest. And then land search. Map the frontier. Cultivate. Hunting Wilds. Our Promise. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Yeah, I went deep, right? The Migration Path. Sky Shroud Claim. I love that 4 mana getting 2 lands. That's beautiful. Circuitous Route, Explosive Vegetation, Ranger's Path, and then, of course, Rapid Growth in Nature's Lore. Now, I know that's a bunch. That's a bunch of land search. But the idea is to get to that 5 mana and start doubling as fast as possible. Now, I am running a Soul Ring, because why not? But then our other stuff, Rites of Flourishing, I almost consider this draw. It's everything we want to do. We want to draw more cards. We want to play more lands. Nyx Bloom Ancient's going to triple our mana. Vernal Bloom's going to double mana. And there's the possibility there that you get to make a friend across the table who might not want you to die because they have Forest 2. Emerald Medallion, Cage Sun doubles, Mana Reflection doubles, Zendikar Resurgent. It is the big mana package, right? I have played this deck several times, and I think the last time I played it, I gave up the dice and went straight to calculator, and scientific notation took over. The numbers got so large, right? So, card draw, Harmonize, Return the Wild Speaker. You got to be very careful with this one. Very careful, because there's a certain point in the game you just can't play it anymore. You just have to give your non-humans +3, because you can't draw with it. Shamanic Revelation, and Staff of Domination. With all that mana, I consider this card draw. Now, granted, you can do other stuff with it too. You can tap down blockers, which is amazing. You can gain a lot of life with it. So, let's look at our landfall creature. Well, here. Okay, we have 2 non-basics that are not forest. So we have a Reliquary Tower and a Rogue's Passage, for obvious reasons. Now, Bill does not have Trample. So we will get to the Trample-enabling section, well, right now. What do you say? We have Overrun. We do have other creatures in the deck, and, Overrun does give Trample. End-Wraith Forerunners gives Trample. Loxodon Warhammer is comical. Trample and Lifelink. The Sword of Vengeance, apparently Bill stole a Chroma sword. It's fine. It's fine. And Bellowing Tangleworm, while it's not Trample, it is Intimidate. So, yeah, only artifact and green creatures can block it. That shuts out a whole lot of blockers. let's see here. We have 5 landfall creatures. You can guess what they are. We're going to talk about Avengers Zendikar first, because when a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. So that helps our commander, since Bill's just a big old cactus boy. Rampaging Baloth, I know. Scoot Swarm, here again. You need a calculator to play this deck. I say that. That was the initial run of the deck before I added the trample enablers, and I was just relying on the Rogue's Passage because I built it very, very quickly. I saw it and I was like, I'm building this, and didn't think about trample until I got in game, and I was like, wow, I need trample. So, Orbi Hydra. Landers about under your control, 1/1 counter on it. If it lands a forest, it gets 2. Good chance it'll be a forest. Tireless Tracker. Clues. Drawing cards. So let's look at our other creatures, shall we? Now, it's always fun when Seedborn Muse is out and everybody's turn is your turn, because you get to you can tap out and spend all your mana to double on everybody's turn, right? The Colonian Hydra has trample, 4 1/1 counters, but when it attacks, you double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control. That's beautiful. Ancient Green Warden, double landfall triggers. I'm with it. Triskelion, I know I'm one of the only people that still play with Triskelion. I love it, though. It's Walking Ballista. It is better, but removing a counter to deal a damage, you get enough doubles, and maybe I have these 2 cards in there for the scenario where people can't attack. Okay, I'll just burn you out with the artifact homies. Loyal Guardian, just put a counter on your team. Tyrant Guard. Now, that Warhammer Tyranid deck had a lot of cool +1 counter things. You can sack the guard. Creatures you control with counters on them, hexproof and indestructible. It's really good to save from that board wipe, because you know it's coming. The Pure Strain Gene Stealer. It attacks, you may remove a 1/1 counter from it. If you do, Rapid Growth. Not bad. Sporocyst. Now, obviously, Ravenous is amazing. I'm skipping over Ravenous on a lot of this, but there's a good chance X is going to equal 5 anyway. But this one's double X. But X basic lands, just so you get all those landfall triggers. Nice. High Respects. When another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on him. And then you get to add mana by removing counters. It's kind of sweet. There is an infinite mana loop here. I found it in-game, did not realize it. Well, not really infinite. It's once per turn, but this guy will never die. Thanks to the Seedborn Muse and Bristly Bill, because 5 mana doubles all the counters, and once you get up to a certain number of counters, it's just free mana all the time. Fertilid, because I like it and it's funny. Clamavus. Now each creature you control gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter on it. I'll never forget the first time I read this card. I was like, duh. And I was like, oh, no, an additional +1. So if your 3/3's got 5 +1 counters on it, it's not an 8/8, it's a 13/13. Yeah. Of course, our good friend Multani has trample and big. And you get to bounce lands to return them from the graveyard to your hand. So you get landfall triggers for playing those lands again. It's awesome. Primordial Hydra, of course, just big Hydra. And then everybody's favorite, Hero's Bane. I know, Chris, you're watching. He loves Hero's Bane. Okay, not really. But, I mean, permanently doubling the counters. That's pretty sweet. Counters. Did we talk about counters yet? So, we have Hardened Scales, Branching Evolution, Doubling Season. It just seems... the Doubling Season wasn't in there when I played it last. That was part of what I'm going to call the Trample update. But Invigorating Surge, yeah. This is a player kill spell. I mean, double, yeah. And then Inspiring Call is one of those instances that are, no, you're not going to kill my dudes. Anti-Wrath card's what I call them. And then I have 2 removal spells, that's it. Have the Return to Nature and the Beast Within. Most of this deck, or all the deck that you saw, is it is just single-minded in its goal. We're going to get Bill huge, and we're going to smash with Bill. So that is what I've got for today. I do apologize for the infrequency lately, but hopefully I have got that fixed, and we're back on track. So thank you so much. And as always, we'll see you next time. But right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.